Michiganders may have seen something extraordinary Monday night, a fireball meteor streaking across the sky.
It's pretty violent this time. Really shook the house.
A man living in St. James City on Pine Island in Lee County wondering what's causing his house to, as he puts it, violently shake. And he's not alone. We've been getting a number of calls, emails, and Facebook postings from other viewers telling us you experience the same thing.
One man tells me he's felt his house shaking several times, but today it was worse than ever. What's interesting, a Navy spokesperson tells me they didn't have any aircrafts operating here around that time.
But I really don't think it's a sonic boom. I think it's something else. I don't know what it is, because it is. I think it's more in the ground.
And he says he would know.
I'm a commercial pilot. I used to fly for years. I've spent years in the atmosphere. I've never heard a sonic boom like that.
The twisting and shaking is causing damage to his home.
The tiles throughout the house are actually starting to pop loose. Every time this happens, it seems like one or two more tiles is getting loose. What's causing this is what I want to know.
It's kind of weird. It really is, though, to see that many at one time, fall from the sky.
Not one or two, but nearly 40 starlings were found laying dead on this street.
It was really unusual.
An unusual occurrence and a disturbing sight for both people who live and work around this neighborhood, as well as the responders who saw these birds.
Here at The Lip, we've covered a number of stories chronicling the unprecedented animal die-off that is happening around the world. 120,000 endangered antelopes were found dead in Kazakhstan, while thousands of starfish were dying on Morton Island. And this week, an estimated 8,000 black and white seabirds were found dead on the beaches of Alaska's Prince William Sound. Thousands more have washed up on beaches from California to the Gulf of Alaska over the past year.
The religious leaders you're about to meet are not your typical women and men of the cloth. These pastors are challenging the status quo. So can their New Age approach help people renew a connection with their faith and break down barriers in the church?
From weave snatching on The Real Housewives of Atlanta to the ridiculous insanity that is Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. It's not something many residents here are proud of, even as we secretly chuckle that it's entertaining.
Atlanta's off the chain!
This newest reality series, featuring this fine city and another mostly black cast, might seem like more of the same. But leave it to television to make it big and different. All of the characters showing out are men and women of the cloth.
God is gonna heal your heart!
It's called Preachers of Atlanta.
I think that tutu is almost like, wow! It kind of like lets you just be, crazy, and you're going to get outside your box.
And this is Pastor Leandria Johnson.
Here goes nothing.
Going the extra mile for her ministry, dressing up as a prostitute to blend in a tough neighborhood downtown.
I am a pastor, right? Okay. And I'm trying to find women that look like me.
She even hands out condoms and cigarettes.
You got some condoms? Let me give you some condoms.
When all of the pastors get together at a hip-hop listening party, the drama isn't far behind.
Tonight now, in the not-so-distant future, you could be wearing all of your personal information, everything from your credit card numbers to your vital signs. It's called the tech tattoo.
So this is really going beyond what the fitness tracker is.
The latest bio-wearable looks like a circuit board that gets embedded onto your arm.
With the tech tattoo, you could carry all your information on your skin.
Information like your identification and your credit card numbers.
We carry wallets around, and they're so vulnerable.
Experts say the temporary tat will also be able to monitor your vitals. They're made with electroconductive ink that contains various sensors and, in some cases, tiny microchips. cosmetic company L'Oreal is also getting in the action with a temporary tattoo that can track UV exposure and alert you if you're in danger of burning.
The future will let you leave your debit card at home. JP Morgan Chase is upgrading all their ATMs this year to let you withdraw money using your smartphone. Well, we've come a long way from saying, I got to go tap Mac, haven't we?
It's one of hundreds of features brainstormed at the bank's Innovation Center in Columbus, Ohio. Some ideas, like a fingerprint scanner, got left on the cutting room floor, but others are being put into practice.
They want to be able to bank where they want, when they want, and how they want. And this machine is allowing us the flexibility to do so.
It's not just Chase customers. Bank of America is making its machines mobile friendly, and Citigroup's ATMs may soon scan your iris for identification. The upgrades over the years have made the machines more popular among customers than visiting a teller.
Entering the country at Kennedy Airport will now have their faces scanned.
All right, Fox 5's Jody Goldberg is live at JFK to show us how that new security technology works. Jody.
Terry, Steve, it's all in an effort to make air travel safer. This was first tested at Washington Dulles International Airport, and today's the first day the system is online at JFK. It's another tool to make sure U.S. Customs and Border Protection is keeping its citizens safe. Right now, there are 18 machines spread throughout 3 terminals at JFK. Officials say at least 500 people a day chosen randomly will be screened. And now the goal is to have facial comparison at all 5 international terminals here at the airport.
No more questions.
Dealing with the devil, passion, tears, and hours of debate later, Satanists will not be leading the city council prayer in Phoenix, nor will anyone else going forward.
We have live team coverage on this polarizing decision.
No more prayer at Phoenix City Council meetings. It's been replaced with a moment of silence after a Tucson-based satanic group requested to read the invocation.
Now the group will get the chance to speak in Tucson. After 3 hours of emotional debate and discussion last night, the Phoenix Council decided to do away with prayers altogether.
They created the problem here. I just have to say, as the manager,
Ed, I'm not done talking. I'm sorry, Ed. I'm not done talking, and when I'm done talking, you can interrupt me.
Frankly, it's the most despicable thing that I have ever witnessed in my service to the city.
They changed a tradition that's been established for over 40 or 50 years at the city of Phoenix, overnight and done behind closed doors.
A shocking development out of Britain, where the government is now letting scientists conduct gene editing experiments on human embryos.
With me is Paul Serhal, the medical director of the Centre for Reproductive and Genetic Health here in London. And Paul, what do you make of this announcement that this kind of experimentation will be allowed?
Well, I think it's very good news.
Gene editing works like a cut and paste technique. It scans DNA, finds a faulty gene, then cuts it and replaces it with a healthy copy. Some British doctors call the approved research unnecessary.
It's being justified on the basis that it will help prevent miscarriages and stop IVF failures. But the genes that these scientists plan to look at, there's no evidence to show that any of them have anything to do with causing IVF failure or miscarriage in the first place.
University of Notre Dame professor Carter Sneed says gene editing destroys living embryos.
What we're confronted with this morning is a very basic kind of injustice. The same injustice that we see in abortion. We're killing newly conceived human beings for the sake of speculative scientific research.
Critics also say gene editing could lead to designer babies, where parents seek taller, stronger, and smarter children.
If we do look further down the road and this works, it's successful in the laboratory, we may understand more about fertilization, but what could it mean for some inherited diseases?
Well, I think the potential of such technology is that if you were able to edit the DNA in order to avoid the transmission of certain genetic diseases. It's all very good news. But of course, we're still a long way off. A lot of work has to be done in order to ascertain safety, let alone the benefit that will be derived from the such procedures.
Très proche de celle de Val Thorens, ce qui aurait pu enduire avec de l'erreur. Allez, ne revenez plus enduire avec de l'erreur.
More and more people are paying with cards rather than cash these days. In fact, some countries in Europe are already on track to becoming completely cashless societies.
Well, there has been precious little water in southern and eastern Africa where El Nino is scorching the earth.
The third most powerful earthquake in Oklahoma's recorded history jolted the northern part of the state this weekend.
The ground keeps shaking in Oklahoma and more violently. This year already 140 quakes.
An earthquake rocks Inyo County, sending shockwaves through Bakersfield.
And tonight, geologists are explaining why an earthquake 3 hours away was felt right here in town.
Now to a developing story. Bad news for our local beaches. They're being washed away at an alarming rate.
Oceanside not the only city dealing with this. We'll show you 6 other troubled beaches coming up tonight at 7.
New wrinkle in the issue of the high cost of higher education, and for one Texas man, his student loans landed him in jail. The U.S. Marshals showed up to his Houston area door with an arrest warrant.
All right, what's the worst that could happen to you if you don't pay your old federal student loans? Garnishment, something on your credit report. Well, how about being arrested by the U.S. Marshal's Office?
Yeah, you don't expect that. Well, Donna, Melinda, I still can't believe this one, but it is just mind-blowing. This is a story that will likely outrage you and leave you wondering, why are the resources of the federal government being used this way? Joining me live is Paul Aker. He had a student loan debt from 1987. The loan was $1,500. Last Thursday, 7 people in combat gear with automatic weapons showed up at his home and took him to jail for a 29-year-old student loan. Those people were U.S. Marshals, Deputy U.S. Marshals right here in Houston.
New tonight, some pet owners in New Jersey are fighting back after being told their condo association wants their pets to undergo testing.
CBS 2's Jessica Schneider has more now on what could amount to mandatory dog DNA testing.
Barbara Mintz treasures her 2 Puggle pups.
Oh, no, let's not fight.
So she was alarmed when she got a letter from her condo association proposing mandatory DNA tests for them and the rest of the dogs at Eagle Ridge in West Orange, New Jersey.
It took so long for me to become a homeowner. I would think I would have some kinds of freedoms around here.
The condo board wants dog owners to provide a DNA sample.
It just seemed to me a little extreme.
People here say they're not sure why the board wants to do DNA testing on their dogs, but lawyers say condo associations are free to mandate DNA testing, and it's happening all around the country.
From CCTV to GPS tracking, surveillance is all around us, but now we're being watched more than ever in the workplace. New technology allows bosses to tell whether workers are at their desk, what they say, even how they're saying it, and it's completely legal.
The sensors are completely anonymous as they monitor the presence of people at each desk.
If an employee accepts it, says, look, okay, I'm prepared to work in an organisation that puts me through this sort of ordeal, then they've got no rights. They have literally signed up for it and given away a right to privacy.
Say cheese when you board a DART train this summer. The transit agency is adding cameras and
controversial new technology will follow. Brooke Rogers live in Dallas for us tonight with a timeline on all of this. Brooke.
Well, Kaylee, you may not realize it, but all DART bus stations, buses do have cameras. You can see there's one right above me. It's taking my picture as I speak. But having them on trains will be new, and not everyone is on board.
I mean, I think using technology to keep people safe is a good idea. You know, it's just, I'm not sure about the privacy thing, though.
Facial recognition software, what is that information being harvested for? And where's that information going?
A growing tech trend takes personal computing to its highest level. It's gone from hands-on to hands-in. More people are biohacking their own bodies with implanted computer chips that can perform a wide range of tasks.
The limits, it's a limitless technology. There's tons of things we can do with it, and we're really just getting started.
And Garrett Fry is getting first-hand experience on just what the future may hold.
Garrett Fry's implant is very simple. Like he said, it's not much more complicated than the identification implant that you would put in your dog or your cat. But they're getting more and more complex, recording body functions for long periods of time. Some of them functioning as compasses that you can get your directions, see them lighted up through your skin.
The technology is just starting to take off, and more people are embracing it or ingesting it. Biohacking has sparked moral and ethical discussions, and in computing circles, it has raised security questions.
There are calls for a controversial program which aims to educate students about their gay, lesbian or transgender classmates to be removed from South Australian schools. While some parents have told 9 News they support the program, a federal senator says the lessons go too far.
It's called Safe Schools, a program designed to make students comfortable with their same-sex or transgender classmates. 53 South Australian schools have signed up to Safe Schools. The program aims to help students understand different sexualities, but also encourages them to avoid gendered words like he or she, in favour of the terms they, ze, or e. The program has already created controversy in Victoria, where it's been made compulsory.
People are only more open-minded, so I think we've got to start with the little ones.
Happening tonight. Passionate pleas over bathroom privacy. Ariel Westler is live in Carmel Mountain Ranch tonight. And Ariel, this case could be precedent setting.
Morality is a key issue for some on the other side.
People have been attacked or looked at. There are always sick-minded people that take advantage of this kind of system.
A system still very much up for debate nationwide, and a decision that could set a precedent for other districts throughout the country.
New at 5, Seattle Parks and Recreation is facing a first-of-a-kind challenge to gender bathroom rules.
A man undressed in a women's locker room last week, citing a new state rule that allows people to choose a bathroom based on gender identity.
Women alerted staff who told the man to leave, but he said, "The law has changed and I have a right to be here."
Eight-time boxing champion Manny Pacquiao is apologizing for his anti-gay remarks, but the repercussions are just beginning.
8th-division world champion Manny Pacquiao is arguably the most famous Filipino in the world. He's a hero in the Southeast Asian country. On Wednesday, Nike announced it was ending its relationship with Pacquiao after the company found his comments abhorrent.
The announcement comes as Pacquiao prepares for what he says will be his last fight on April 9th against Timothy Bradley in Las Vegas.
And we don't know exactly what it is.
Yeah, new tonight, concerns over mystery gunk falling from the sky. What on earth is it?
An unknown substance has coated several homes in one neighborhood. 7 Action News reporter Aaron Baskerville is live there with more. Aaron, what's going on?
Listen, that's what everybody's trying to figure out. It's certainly a mystery out here. This tar-like substance is everywhere. So like I said, imagine if this was your house or your home, you'd be very upset. You were just looking at the driveway coated in that tar-like substance. You can also see the car coming up tonight at 11 on Channel 7.
Something is keeping an entire town up at night, and no one knows what it is or where it's coming from. And they could use your help.
As mysteries go, there aren't many that can match this one for being just as annoying as it is unexplained. That high-pitched sound wreaking havoc on Forest Grove, Oregon for weeks, mainly at night, even waking people up.
It sounds like brakes to me.
Local officials have ruled out a water valve, gas leak, or wildlife, and the nearest train track is rarely used. The fire department doesn't know what it is either.
Welcome to the X-Files, back on TV again. And so here we are.
The truth is out there, and whatever it sure is loud and baffling.
Said, Officer Holm, you don't understand that because of what you done. He said, I checked myself back into mental health. I was able to get regulated with my medication. I reconciled my relationship with my brother, with my sister. He's no longer living on the street. He had moved back in with his brother or his sister. And he told me, he said, it's because of what you done that night, you stopping me. He said, to save my life.
That man's a hero, and he saved my life, really.
You went out of your way, you helped a homeless man, you gave him your own personal Bible, and because of that, he got his life on track. What does that mean to you?
It's the most tangible thing I've ever experienced with being a witness and being obedient to God. So it's awesome.
Look me right in the eye. Would you see the pain deep inside? Would you take the time to tell me what I need to hear? Tell me that I'm not forgotten.